welcome to HeyScan Email. I'm your host, Bob Scanlan. 18-6 Padre blowout of the Mets tonight. Tons of emails came in. I've got some of them right here. I thought it'd be good to answer them on air. So we'll get right to them. Let's see what we got. Number one, HeyScan. Tonight the Padres loaded up the lineup with right-hand bats to counter the Mets' left-hand pitcher. And after they beat him up, the Mets brought in another left-hand pitcher. How come they didn't bring in a right-hander? You know, that's an interesting question. This is from Chris. Chris, basically in the fifth inning, they did switch pitchers, but they brought another left-hander in because the Padres were sending up Adrian Gonzalez and Chase Headley to start off that inning. So naturally, Jerry Manuel would want a left-hand pitcher to face the left-hand hitting Adrian Gonzalez and to switch Chase Headley around to hit from the right side. Of course, that didn't pan out. He gave up a couple hits, 3 walks. The next thing you know, 4 runs across the plate. He then brings in the right-hander Henry Mejia to try to get out of the rest of the jam. So I think it was basically Jerry Manuel trying to get the lefty matchup to start the inning. Next question. Graydon wants to know, he went to the ballpark today, had a great time. He visited the Tony Gwynn statue, and he noticed that Tony Gwynn statue in the back pocket, it's very realistic, actually. It was done by William Barons, so congratulations to him for doing a great job on the Tony Gwynn statue down here at Petco Park. But he said, hey, look, I saw something in his back pocket. At first I thought it was batting gloves. It's not. What is it that's in that back pocket of the Tony Gwynn statue? I think it is the wrist guard. When Tony was hitting, he'd actually have a wrist guard in that back pocket, and they tried to make it as duplicated, as natural as possible, so you can actually see in the back pocket there, it looks like a square lump. That lump is actually represents the batting guard that Tony used to keep in his back pocket while he was hitting. So very realistic. If you have not had a chance to see that statue, treat yourself. It's really something special out in the park there at Petco Park. What do we have? Gilbert. What is the most runs scored by the Padres? Well, Gilbert, 20 runs. That's happened twice. The first time happened in 1996 against the Florida Marlins. The second time, and I couldn't have scripted this any better, happened May 19th, 2001 against the Montreal Expos. And when I first looked that up, I thought, 2001 Montreal Expos. I pitched on that ball club, and I thought, oh no, I hope I didn't pitch in this blowout game. So I looked it up. Sure enough, I'm looking down the box score, and I see my name in the box score of that ball game. But here's the absolutely miraculous part. 7 pitchers pitched for us that night with the Expos. Every one of them gave up 3 runs or more, except for one person, me. I ended up pitching 1 inning in that ball game, did not give up a run. I don't know how it happened. I was the only pitcher that night for the Expos that didn't give up multiple runs. And it's particularly astonishing considering my ERA was something around 7.2 or something like that year. So, hey, Gilbert, thanks, man. You gave me the opportunity to talk about the one game apparently I pitched for the Expos where I didn't give up any runs. Next, Jordan. Hey, at this point in time, what do you feel the team's biggest needs are in the possible trades, and when do you think Jed Hoyer will decide that this team is going to be shoppers? You know, we're a third of the way through the season right now, and the Padres have the best record in the National League with 31-20. I got to believe that Jed Hoyer's sitting there right now thinking he's going to be a shopper. I mean, the trade deadline is going to be coming up here in the next couple months. Now, granted, there could be a catastrophic collapse by this ball club, and I don't think anybody expects that with the kind of pitching and defense they've been putting up. But certainly at this point, I think you have to be assuming that, hey, Padres are going to be shoppers come this trade deadline. What do they need? Obviously, right now, the number one thing would be right-handed power. They're certainly not getting the kind of production out of their outfield that they had anticipated. And, if Kyle Blanks can do it internally, if he can come back off the DL and get it done, great. Then you don't have to trade for right-handed power. If he's not able to do that, then I would think at this point that's the number one thing that you're looking at. But again, 2 months away before the trade deadline gets here, a lot can happen. Padres' needs may change. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but what a nice surprise for the Padres that they're going to be shoppers this year instead of all the speculation at the beginning of the season that they were going to be sellers of some of the big names like Adrian Gonzalez and Heath Bell. What else do we have here? Trevor wants to know, hey, what's my opinion of the Padre players in the All-Star game? Well, I think Heath Bell clearly is the number one candidate right now. Heath has 14 saves this season so far. That's the 3rd most in the National League. Sporting a 1.17 earned run average. That's the 2nd best among National League closers. Jonathan Broxton with a 1.16. So Heath Bell certainly on his way to having an All-Star appearance.